$10 per 20-ounce jar. And it's so high-end that buying it in a set of 3 does not give you a bulk discount. A lot of fancy restaurants send you home with a gift. 11 Madison Park gives you something for the morning, assuming that you are full at the end of your meal. And it entirely makes sense from a production standpoint. Even though the ingredients are very expensive, it is a recipe that can be trained quite quickly and scaled up and down very easily. So immediately, my scaling system caught a mistake, which I remedied immediately. I mistook chocolate chips for coconut chips. My brown sugar is very firm, so it took me a little while longer to melt all of the sugar crystals into the olive oil and maple syrup. It's important not to rush any stage of mixing, but when you are melting sugar into a low smoke point ingredient like olive oil, you have to do it on a low temperature, so it requires time and patience. I make granola every week, and I don't typically use a recipe because I'm cleaning out my pantry and finishing up ingredients that have tiny bits of leftover. But after having invested time into a book and getting excited about something new, especially with a savory ingredient like olive oil, I was happy to try out this recipe. And it did not disappoint. I made sure to incorporate the solid ingredients with the moist ingredients with my hands very gently. Because of the high sugar and fat content, this granola browns very quickly. I like to use my tools to make divots in the granola as it's baking. This creates more surface area for more even browning. This granola is also roasted at 300 degrees. This allows you to keep up with the quick browning. The type and quality of ingredients you choose affects the overall performance of any recipe you attempt. This recipe became very expensive for me quickly because my nuts, maple syrup, and olive oil are all premium ingredients. I added kosher salt during the mixing and baking of the granola. In the spirit of adding depth of flavor, I chose to add a finishing salt. Maldon salt is a little more expensive, and it's also a very large, beautiful flake. Finishing salts are never meant to be blended in. They are meant to be seen, to be visually appealing, and to add a crunch that no other salt can. The book drives home the concept that your customer's experience begins long before they step foot in your establishment. And it ends with how you make them feel as they are leaving. And this granola is a great example.